Welcome to our third ever ShiftMate Roundtable. I appreciate you being here. My name is Mike. I'm the founder of ShiftMate, and we'll talk about a little bit in this third roundtable what this new tool for gig workers does, what this app does, and specifically, as you can see here, what we just released for 1.0.3. If you're unfamiliar with ShiftMate, again, my name is Mike. I'm the founder of ShiftMate. And if you're seeing where this video is hosted, also the founder of Your Driver Mike here on YouTube, where I've been doing gig work for 10 years now, and all I do is help you make money in different side hustles. Again, ShiftMate is a tool for you. It is an app for gig workers to help you maximize your income. You can track your income. You get your stats at a glance. It's going to give you smarter insights to earn more. We're really proud of that, and no other tool that I've seen does what ShiftMate does. It's going to break down, if you're a gig worker like myself, the metrics that you need to pay attention to. Why? Because if you're driving, we all know, I've been doing this for a long time, it's just you out there, right? It's just you, and you have a lot of stuff going on. And the apps themselves, they're only going to tell you so much, right? It's like, okay, you earned this week. Yeah, Uber or something might say, hey, your earnings are up 7%, but it's very minimal, isn't it? So if we go to ShiftMate, it's going to tell you, hey, what exactly is working, what isn't working on the most important metrics, explain why it matters so you know exactly where you need to improve. We also have a comprehensive compare apps feature you're seeing there on the right. So, you can let me know, this roundtable is really meant for you to, if you're a new gig worker, discover apps, compare apps, and that's what that compare apps feature is for. Very robust. You can go into that compare apps feature and you can look at different platforms to see which is best for you. Now, here's the goals of this roundtable. When you leave this video, you're going to know everything that we've changed from 1.0 to 1.0.3, new features that are in 0.3. I want to get your community feedback. Now, this is an unlisted live stream. Welcome in. So it's a little bit more intimate, possibly not as many attendees. So if you know someone that does gig work, or if they missed the live stream, simply share the link. Anyone with this link can watch the video. So feel free to click the share button and share this with another gig worker. So I do want to take your community feedback and then ultimately decide, is ShiftMate right for you? We launched ShiftMate only 3 weeks ago. Myself and my single developer. If you like small, local, and grassroots companies, then ShiftMate is for you, because we launched just 3 weeks ago, almost a month, on October 8th. And currently, we are running our launch pricing at $10 a month. That is the lowest price you're ever going to get, ShiftMate Premium. And after our initial announcement, because we had the pre-order, we did have a 30-day promo that is, I believe, still going. So you can go to shiftmateapp.com and grab that if the promo is still active. Make sure to grab it. And if you're an Android user, we'll talk to you here shortly, because currently ShiftMate is for iOS. Now, let's talk about that initial launch though. Initial launch on October 8th, this is the initial feedback that we got. And remember, it is a single developer team. It is a single dev, him and I, and it's completely bootstrapped, which means it is self-funded. We did not take any funding. I preferred to not take any funding, really to stay in charge of the app for you and not have to answer to X amount of investors. But the initial feedback was like, hey, there's a good amount of bugs, which we anticipated. So there was bugs with your shift entry whenever you actually entered in your data. The keyboard would kind of get in the way. Well, I need an easy way to reset my password because we didn't have self password reset. And then premium reservation holders were having problems with their activation. Now, if you are a premium reservation holder and you have not activated your account, simply activate your account with your email that you used when making the reservation. If the email changed, just send us an email at support@shiftmateapp.com. Now, that iOS and Android activation, like, hey, I mean, you can let me know in the live chat or the comments, what operating platform that you're on, but that is the number one question we're getting right now. I'm on Android. Have you thought about Android? Not everyone has an iPhone. What are you coming out with Android? I hear you. And I see the questions come over to support. So we are targeting Android. Initially, it was going to be sometime next year, but the demand has been very strong for Android. So I want to challenge our single dev team to try to get that out to you by the end of the year. So again, we're targeting end of year for Android. As you can imagine, we want a clean launch with iOS. Like I mentioned, there's bug fixes, there's patches on iOS. So I want to make sure our iOS users have a clean user experience. And then of course, we'll focus there on Android. I appreciate you being here. So let's go over what's new in 1.0.3. So a lot of user features, and this is why if you want to get that launch pricing, I lock it in now because you're locked into that launch pricing for life unless you cancel. Because we're always making updates. We're 3 weeks in and we're making updates every single week. Obviously, simple bug fixes and patches, but actually new features. So let's take a look here. We just launched, and by the way, if you already have ShiftMate, thank you. At this point, I believe 700 plus downloads in just 3 weeks is incredible. So thank you. We're reaching 1,000 downloads here very shortly. So thank you. You can try it for free. Now we added this visual chart tracking. As you can see here, now we have new ways to understand your earnings. I don't know if you're a visual learner, but I am. So I like to see my data. So we added a new feature based on how you learn. So that left screen, like I told you, there's your metrics. Things like dollars to mile, dollars per hour, empty miles, the percent of your miles that you're driving without an assignment. No one's measuring this, and we do. This is why you want ShiftMate. Downtime. What percent of your time is without an assignment? How much time are you wasting, basically? Average pay per trip, etc. Now, that was great. The list style view was wonderful. And then we also have a card style view. But what if you wanted more visuals? Like me, as a visual learner, you can see here we added visual chart tracking. So at a glance, high level, and I love the middle chart that we added there. That's what's called a spider chart, is I can see red needs improvement, fair, yellow, and good, acceptable, green. I love being able to see, and this is going to change based on the date range you selected, where are my metrics? So I can see in one screen, okay, I'm all green, as you can see in this example here. Or is there somewhere I need to improve? But then we also added trend analysis, trends over time. So take a look there on the right screen. These are your performance trends. And you can see the drop-down menu there, currently selected dollars per mile. And again, this will change based on the date range you have selected. So I can compare, hey, where is my earnings per hour? What is this going to do? This is going to show you, okay, seasonality. In what season, perhaps, are my earnings on any one of these metrics above changing? And how do they change over time? And you can compare your earnings goals. Well, when I first downloaded ShiftMate and I was driving, I was in like the yellow zone or the red zone, and I was making $1.20 a mile or something. And I could see visual proof after 30 days, 90 days, whatever it is, my earnings are going up. And not only for pay per mile, but I could see trend analysis for any single metric. So I love this. 1.0.3 is now live. If you have ShiftMate currently, so if you already have it on your phone for iOS, just make sure you turned on automatic updates. And on iOS, on iPhone, I believe you can do that in the Apple App Store and or in your settings. But if anything, you can go into the App Store again, search ShiftMate. It's in there as ShiftMate gig tracker. And you can always click on update manually. But again, I turn on automatic updates. I suggest you turn on automatic updates. So get 1.0.3 and let us know what you think. We've also added new earnings options under compare apps. So remember, premium users can compare 80 plus, gig platforms at a glance. And it's not just like, okay, what's out there? It is a comprehensive list of qualifications. Age to qualify. Do you need a vehicle? Do you need equipment? What does the company advertise? Any other requirements? What's the niche? Does it qualify for bonus pay? Can I get customer tips? All in compare apps. So we've added new apps to that, but we've also done this. We've also cleaned up our popular gigs section, and popular gigs is available for all users, free and premium users. Because remember, I told you that you're kind of on the road by yourself. Like last night, I drove 6+ hours for Uber on Halloween weekend, and it's just me. There's no other drivers. Like, yeah, they're all out doing their own thing, but there's no one to talk to. There's no one to get tips from. So that's what I do, here, hosting on the Your Driver Mike channel. But here, we bring in community in a simple screen. It is our voting feature. So under popular gigs, now as a gig worker, in a simple high-level glance, you can recommend or not recommend a side hustle. So for high-level users, because again, your time's valuable, you can see here really quickly here, we want you to consider just things like ease of use, the amount of work required, problems, and pay. And summarize that. Like, would you recommend this to someone? Thumbs up, thumbs down, and you can always change your vote. And if you do want to go deeper, go into our compare apps feature. Next, we extended our ShiftMate Premium, which gets you access to those deeper insights with the visual tracking, the compare apps feature, new ways to earn with our Shift Audit and Contributor program, advanced reporting, all in ShiftMate Premium for that launch pricing currently of $10. So now everyone gets a free trial of Premium. Because we also heard like, hey, I would love to try, the deeper insights. I'd like to put in my data and see what your deeper insight says first. I would like to try compare apps first. So regardless of whatever plan you select, monthly, if you go annual, currently you'll save 16%. If you go annual or lifetime, that's a one-time cost if you don't want a subscription. And thank you to our subscribers on all levels here. You can try it for free for 30 days on any plan. Really excited that we launched that. That's going to give you a lot of flexibility there. And again, the number one question we're getting right now is, yes, when are you releasing ShiftMate for Android? Like I alluded to earlier. Yeah, Android, again, Q4, currently at the end of this year. So hang with me if you're on Android. If you are, or even if you feel like ShiftMate, you're not sure if it's right for you yet, sign up for our newsletter. Again, shiftmateapp.com. It'll take you to the Apple App Store, but it also gives you more information on ShiftMate, and you can just simply fill out the form, as over 1,000 other gig workers have already done, simply to stay in the know. So again, whatever works for you. If you're not ready to sign up or download just yet, or if you're on Android, just sign up for our newsletter. Now let's talk about another big question we're getting, really more so an objection. So I understand, your time is valuable. And with ShiftMate in its current state, we chose manual data entry. So what that means is when you open up ShiftMate, to add a shift, you click the plus sign, little plus sign right there on the home screen on the right side to enter in your work shift or business expenses. If you're someone that takes the actualized expense method, when you track to deduct every single expense, itemized, it's called, then you can do that. You can enter in your business expenses. Or if you have ancillary or secondary expenses in addition to mileage, supplies, and stuff like that, then you can also enter it there. But we chose a manual data entry, which means, you're going to have your app open, you're going to have ShiftMate open, and you just answer the questions. It'll take you a few minutes. It's very simple. And then you enter in your shift data manually. But we heard you, and we heard some users were asking for automatic data syncing. So this would automatically sync my data with my gig apps. Now, the only problem with that is some other tools, they don't do what ShiftMate does, but they have automatic data syncing. The only problem is they would say themselves, let's say on their website or something, that data isn't always accurate. So we want your data to obviously always be accurate. So we chose manual data entry, but we are looking into options for automatic data syncing. Because again, we know your time's valuable. Maybe you don't have an extra 3 to 5 minutes to enter in your data. That's fine. Maybe it's just too cumbersome. We've heard commentary about that. It's too cumbersome. I don't want to have to enter in my data. So no, that is something that we're looking at. A couple options to automatically sync your shift data. So if you're interested in that, again, sign up for free, sign up for the newsletter, download it, try it in its current state, and look for that. If that is something that we move on, I would say maybe Q1 of next year, of 2026. And then lastly, how to report bugs. Simply use the contact form on our website or use the contact form in the ShiftMate app. Go into the menu on the top left and let us know. Being a small dev team, certainly there's going to be bugs, there's going to be patches, and if you're an early adopter, an early user of ShiftMate, we appreciate it. Because we've seen what ShiftMate members are communicating back to us, whether that be explicitly with reaching out via a support ticket or just consumer behavior. Maybe they try ShiftMate and then they uninstall it. Maybe they try the free trial and then a very quick turnaround, maybe they cancel the free trial. So we've seen all that consumer behavior, and we want to make sure that you see value when you download ShiftMate. So what I need is just post your questions in the comments of this video. Are you getting a lot of bugs? Are there features that you want to see on ShiftMate? For instance, Jim, thanks for being here as always. Yeah, waiting on Android. So when a typical shift for me might involve 6 apps, automatic syncing would be very helpful. Exactly, and I appreciate you being here. So typically the way it would work right now, if you're a gig worker and you're multi-apping, ShiftMate does support multi-apping. But again, you're going to enter in earnings for this app, etc. So I can understand how that would be a bit cumbersome if you're, let's say, like yourself, driving on 6 different apps. That is a lot of multi-apping, but it's good that you're using the apps that work best for you. So if you have questions, if you have bugs to report, if you have things you don't like, screens you think you should change, new features that should come to our next build, let us know. Because again, we're a 2-person team, a small team, but it's my commitment to make ShiftMate the #1 tool for gig workers. How are we going to do that? Because I've tried all the other tools out there. I've tried all the major ones. They do not do what ShiftMate does. We have the basics, which you need, right? We have the basics of tracking, income tracking, right? And tax reporting. That's very important. I need tax reporting. You can export your report, take that to your CPA or tax professional. We have that. And then of course your earnings. But no one is telling you for these gig apps, A, what's out there, B, the best practices for these gig apps, and then showing you what actually needs improved, and then why it actually matters. So the way I think about it is some other tools, they summarize too much. They say, well, here's data for everybody. Here's generally what we're seeing for everybody. We took a different approach. Our approach is, well, I don't really want to worry about everybody. I want to worry about you first. I want to focus on you first before we try to generalize with everybody. So that is why we took the stance of let's look at your shift data first. That is a big question that I got developing ShiftMate. It's like, hey, this is all great. Best practices are great. Letting me know about different gig apps is great, but how do I know that my market and my shift and my earnings are worth it? You know, I can be there with you, but now ShiftMate can be there with you, and it analyzes exactly that. Your specific data first, and it makes it easy to understand that data. I am loving what we're doing here. It is, again, my commitment to make ShiftMate the best app for you. And in these roundtables, that's the goal here, to take your feedback. So again, let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and I appreciate your interest in ShiftMate.